Improv. Today we're going to discuss 3 concepts that will improve your improvisations at the table. Those 3 concepts go as follows: the box, association, and what's cool. Let's get into it. So, the box is basically just a mental exercise. What we want to do is we want to imagine a box in front of us. Doesn't matter what the box looks like, let it be conjured out of your dreamlike mind. Then, with that same mind, you open the box and you just see what's inside. So we're going to do this a couple times just as examples. Now obviously this has already been prepared, but these were things as I was doing this practice that did pop into my mind, right? So first, we open the box, and what comes out? An eagle flying out of a portal to hell. We open the box, what comes out? An apple knight. Let's do it one more time. So we open the box and we just allow our dream mind to create something. And what comes out of the box? A floating upside down castle. So that's the box. Whatever comes to your mind, that's the point. The practice is to gain access to that part of your mind that can spontaneously generate images, thoughts, and ideas. To let it flow. You have to turn off that part of your brain that always says no. That's the practice of the box, is figuring out how to turn that part of your brain off. Let the dreams come in. Alright. So that's the box. Complete. Now we go to association. Very simply, association is a thought process of improvisation, right? Whatever thing, situation, problem, place, person that you need to add more to, you need to continue the story of, you think of what is associated with that thing, and then you connect them, right? So for example, let's start with a house. What is associated with a house? Well, houses house people. So let's say that an old lady lives in the house. Okay? What's related to the old lady? Well, she has grandkids. So the grandkids also live in the house. And then let's say a missile appears and it blows up the house, killing everyone inside, burning it, leaving it destroyed. Then what? What's related to a destroyed house? Construction workers, they come. Then what happens? Well, people died in the house. So ghosts, they rise and they scare away the construction workers. Well, now what? What's associated with ghosts? Priests. So now a priest has to come and cleanse the house of the evil spirits. Right? Now, that was pretty wild and off the wall. Can't improvise in ways like that. But let's do it again, but we'll do it simpler. Alright? So let's say your players are at a beach, and you did not plan for them to be at this beach, but you need something for them to do. And you need some way to connect what they're doing back to the nexus or the main plot, right? So, what is related to a beach? Well, what is related to oceans? Ships. What are on ships? Pirates. What do pirates do? They steal. What do they steal? They steal treasure. Who are they stealing it from? The players, or their characters. We'll keep going. Alright? So, when the pirates try to steal from the players, what happens? They fight. After the players win the fight, what do? They investigate what the pirates were after when they specifically targeted them. They were after one of the magical items the players have. Well, how did the pirates know that they had that magical item? The big bad evil guy, the grand antagonist of the story told the pirates about it. Now we have looped back around to the main story simply by following logical conclusions, logical associations. We went all the way from a beach with nothing on it to a extended plot created by the antagonist, simply by making logical associations. All right? So that is that concept. We are satisfied with our learning on association. Now we will move to the last of these three concepts, and that is what's cool. Sounds like a weird thing, probably, but trust me, it's a good, helpful concept. And it really just boils down to this. How do I make this thing, whatever I'm telling a story about, more interesting? Because we always want it to be more interesting. If we're telling a bland, banal, boring story, you're not going to have fun, players aren't going to have fun, and there's no point to being at the table if it's boring, right? So I'm going to give you a couple examples and go through my thought process, all right? So let's say that we need our players to encounter an NPC that has information. Let's say it's a goblin. Well, we don't want it to be just any goblin. That's not that interesting. So what would be cool? One of the things that pops into my head is he has mechanical spider legs instead of actual goblin legs. Pretty cool, pretty interesting, pretty weird. There's definitely some backstory there. Let's add one more thing. He's also psychic. He can read people's minds and he communicates to them psychically, telepathically. So he has psychic powers and he has mechanical spider legs. Now, this is already a three-dimensional character who has all kinds of backstory and will have character traits that are determined by these two things that we added merely because they seem cool. All right? Well, let's do it again. Let's say the players have to go to a castle. Well, we want to make the castle more interesting. So what would be cool? One of the things that pops into my head is there are steam engines in the castle that are powering something. We don't know what. I don't know. Even I just decided that there are steam engines powering something in the castle. I don't know what it is yet, but the players and I get to find out together, and it makes the castle more interesting. Now let's add another layer. There's an eternal, constant lightning storm around the castle. Those are two things, very simple ideas that we've added, and now we have a whole rich aesthetic vision for this experience at the castle. Now it's a three-dimensional thing. It's not just any castle. There's mystery there. What are these engines powering? Why is there a storm always there and you can always remind them? It gives ambiance of lightning constantly cracking and thundering outside the windows. All right? Well, let's do it again. One more time. So let's say we want to design an antagonist, a big bad evil guy. Well, a classic antagonist is a powerful wizard, but we want him to be more interesting than just another old, cruel wizard. So let's add something that would be cool. What if his fingers are cursed and blackened and have large black claws on them? Whether this be from some curse or a dark bloodline. That adds another level of intrigue into his character. Let's add one more thing. He constantly has a shadowy demon hovering over his shoulder, following him everywhere he goes. Now, just by adding those two things, we have, once again, a deep three-dimensional character, even though as the improviser, as the teller of the story, as the game master, we don't know exactly why he has these things, but we get to explore that with the players together. It's interesting. So that's the concept of what's cool. If you use these 3 concepts, I promise you, your improvisation, your storytelling will be better. Now, thanks for staying to the end. If you did, I have a bonus tip for you, all right? Bonus tip, my loyal subjects. Listen to the players. It will often be the case that while you are describing something, while they are exploring the world, they will ask questions that you hadn't considered. They will make predictions that you hadn't considered. And they will just say things that have implications in the story that you hadn't thought of. Grab these and use them. They often will make the story more interesting. Even if they have a presumption about a part of your story that you hadn't planned for, you planned for something different, if their presumption is more interesting, is cooler, more dramatic, take that and replace what you had planned with it. That is a really good way to keep the story vivid and engaging. All right, that's it. That is improvisation. Next video, I want to discuss how we actually play mechanically. A lot of people, they're intimidated by the big rule books. They're intimidated by trying to understand the whole game and then explaining it and getting all of their friends to also invest the time into learning how to play. I want to provide you a system that you don't have to buy any books. All you have to do is watch the video and everybody can start playing in a matter of minutes. All right? Make sure to check it out. See you next time.